I mentioned in my live stream a few times that riding motorcycles off-road is one of my hobbies, and that passion has actually led to me and a friend starting a YouTube channel together. But when you have two people in different locations shooting content with a variety of cameras, a major question comes up. How do you keep all that footage in sync? Well, the answer is Syncthing in TrueNAS. Now, I've covered setting up Syncthing in TrueNAS before, but in this video, I want to go deeper, covering the permissions, the actual production workflow, and a real-world look at how well this setup has kept our 1.7 terabytes and growing videos perfectly synchronized between the two different locations, allowing us both to edit, both to create content, and the bidirectional sync. But before we dive into the details of this video, quick word from the sponsor, Meter. This video is sponsored by Meter, the company bringing you full-stack networks from the ground up. Meter delivers a complete networking stack, wired, wireless, and cellular, all in one integrated solution. They design the hardware, they write the firmware, and they build software that can handle, deploy, and run support. For network engineers, that means deep control, real visibility, and fewer fragmented tools, without juggling multiple vendors or inflexible legacy providers. Whether it's a branch office, warehouse, campus, or data center, Meter is built to scale, and Meter is built for uptime. Thanks to Meter for sponsoring this video. Go to meter.com/LawrenceSystems to book a demo now. That's meter.com/LawrenceSystems to book a demo today. I want to start with an overview to make sure people are clear on how this functions. There's a TrueNAS at location A and a TrueNAS at location B. These TrueNASs do more than just this. I'm narrowing it down to the function that we're using it for to synchronize all the motorcycle videos that me and my friend Matt record. So at my location, I have my editing computer connected via SMB share to this TrueNAS, and I dump all the files over, and there's not much conflict chance because, well, for our structure that we have established, we use the date we did the ride, and then we name the camera. Whose camera is may be named as well. So those cameras get a folder under the date, and then we copy all the media to it. Location B, Matt's going to do the same thing. If we went on a ride together on a specific date, that date is used as the folder name, and then each of his cameras are then copied over. And Syncthing then goes to work doing, well, syncing. It's going to copy all the files that he dumped to his TrueNAS over to that same named folder on my TrueNAS. So eventually, based on how much bandwidth is available, all the data becomes in sync. Now, the nature of video editing does not actually modify those files. So it's not like when you edit or pull in a particular file from a particular day of a particular event, that file gets modified. Video editing pulls all the files in, but does not write back to the file it pulled in. So there's not really any chance of any sync conflict issues. Syncthing has an entire mechanism that goes out of scope of this for handling file conflicts. I've covered it in my other Syncthing videos, but it's just not an issue that comes up. As far as keeping the editors in sync, we both use DaVinci Resolve. Out of scope of this particular video, DaVinci Resolve does have its own synchronization tool to synchronize the project. The way a project works in most video editors, including DaVinci Resolve, is all of the files that are on your NAS are pulled into your project. And then you make all the changes and edits, and those edits are stored in a database in DaVinci Resolve. And then if you were to synchronize that database with another location, provided the mounts, the SMB share mounts were the same, you would have the project synced in both places, and it would actually allow editing by two people at the same time. That's a function of DaVinci Resolve. Other editors have similar functions as well. Not going to get too deep into that because it's out of scope. Synchronizing the media is the really important part. And simply having Syncthing running on these and bidirectional syncing solves that problem. To have one Syncthing talking to another Syncthing, you would ideally be using a VPN between location A and B. If you decide not to use a VPN, not a huge deal because Syncthing itself uses TLS 1.3 with perfect forward secrecy, so the entire transport layer of Syncthing is encrypted if you send it across the public internet. I would still recommend, if you're going to open up a port to Syncthing, that you filter it for only the IP of one of the locations. For example, having a port forward on location A that accepts connections only from the IP address of location B, that's acceptable, I believe, as well. But VPN, like I said, is still my overall preference because I like wrapping things in VPN, even if they're also encrypted. It just keeps that public traffic off the internet, and any potential for problems are now reduced. I'm currently using TrueNAS version 26. Let's jump over here to the dataset and look at Moto Media. And you notice it is using apps and already has an SMB share. Of course, the most important part is going to be the permissions. So we're going over here to edit on the permissions, and you see that we have the usual owner and group as root, built-in users. This one's really important because this is what allows other users on the system to be able to modify and write files to this. We have the group built-in administrators. The two add-ons are the user and group apps. We want to make sure apps has full permission because this is the user that Syncthing uses in order to synchronize the data. So because the user and group apps is allowed read-write permission to this data set, that is what allows Syncthing to get the data from here, location A, over to location B, and these are the exact same settings that location B has for the same reasons. And we just leave the group as built-in users. I have my users on my system, but because they're all part of that same group, they're all allowed to read, write, and edit files within this data set, and Matt on the other end at location B has his users set up, and they're also allowed to read, write files. But because we both have the same common user and group of apps that allows Syncthing to work as its own dedicated user, those users don't conflict. I have a much more in-depth video linked down below for configuring Syncthing, but I'll go over the basics here. I've loaded the application. If we click on edit, I've left pretty much everything at default, especially the user and group ID. This is that apps user apps group. That is very important, so it has permission. You can change ports if you'd like. Down here, I have the host path configuration for where I save the Syncthing configuration information and data here. And then I have under additional storage, a host path set up for Moto Media. This is where the videos live, and this is the mount path for the Moto Media. Now going over to Syncthing itself, starting in the Moto Media folder, we're going to go and edit. I'll start at the advanced. I do have ignore permissions turned on and everything else unchecked. I don't want it to try to synchronize any type of permissions because location A and location B do not have the same users, but the common user is going to be that apps. So Syncthing does have permission for read and write based on the group and user apps being part of that data set, but the other users, I don't want those attributes for who owns the file to be synchronized. So a file created at location A ends up at location B with simply the app permission because that's what Syncthing operates as. If another user adds a file, it may own the file on that side, but when it synchronizes the other way, it just has the app permission, which is fine for this setup. If you were to take the time to set up users identical at each location, yes, you may want to change these settings, but that's not something I was interested in doing. Now, a question might come up is why not use ZFS Replication, or what about Rsync, or what about some other tool to get data from where it is to where you want it to be? And the reality is those tools are not ideal for this. I've talked a lot about ZFS Replication being an absolutely amazing tool for backups, but it's not a synchronization tool. And Rsync kind of is a synchronization tool, but I need two-way sync and I need two locations to have the same data. Syncthing really fits the bill. It's open source. It's very robust. I've been using it for years, so I'm very familiar with it. So that is why I chose Syncthing for this application. Now, as far as the video editing and pulling all the data into DaVinci Resolve and then exporting it back out, it just goes up to YouTube, but we do have a common folder for the exports that gets synced as well. So from a full editing workflow standpoint, I've actually found this to be really easy to do. We've been using it for several months. We started the channel kind of around December. We've been setting up this synchronization for a few months because I had to get a TrueNAS at my friend Matt's and get that all configured. And he uses it for all the things you use TrueNAS for, including this feature. So it's not like this is a dedicated TrueNAS box. This is one more thing we're doing on a TrueNAS box. But it's worked well. We keep adding data and the data synchronizes eventually. And once it's synchronized, we both have access to edit those files and see what we want to cut and trim. And if you're interested in watching two people who know technology and understand how to create content, but aren't necessarily good at creating motorcycle content, I'll leave a link down below to Threat Level Throttle, our channel. We're really just getting started out. I think we got 50 something subscribers right now, but we're doing it for fun. We're not trying to be professional because it's just us amateur people doing motorcycle things. But if you're interested and just curious about it, I will leave a link down below. I know it's a little self-promoting and whatever. That is up to you. You don't have to click it. And maybe you do or don't care about two goofballs riding motorcycles. But love hearing from all of you. Leave your thoughts and comments down below. Also check out my more in-depth Syncthing video where I dive into all the intricate details of Syncthing that weren't really necessary for this video, but it does a lot more than just this function I mentioned here. But for those of you looking to have 2 locations or even 3 or 4, this process can be expanded to more, this is a great way to do it. You can connect me over on the socials at lawrencesystems.com or hit up my forums at forums.lawrencesystems.com for a more in-depth discussion about this and other topics. All right, and thanks.